Welcome back students. Hope you have gone through the extra marks app for yesterday's content. Now it's time for yesterday's questions answer. The question was, explain the term tooth decay. What can be done to avoid tooth decay? The answer is, normally some bacteria are living in our mouth, but they are not harmful to us. But when we eat something, and if we are not cleaning our mouth after that, then it will happen that some harmful bacteria will be there and they will grow on the leftover food and they will convert the sugar present in the leftover food into the acids. These acids will damage the teeth and that is known as tooth decay. Now, when we are eating chocolates, sweets, soft drinks and other sweet items, if we are not washing our mouth after eating these items, food items will stuck to our teeth and it will be there in the gaps between two teeth, and then it may happen that bacteria will act upon it and cause damage to the tooth. Now this may result in the loss of tooth also. We are having toothache, too much pain in the teeth. Now you understand what is tooth decay. Now we will learn how to avoid this tooth decay. To avoid this, we have to brush our teeth twice a day. We can use a dental floss. Dental floss is a strong thread which is specially made for cleaning the teeth. This dental floss you can use between the two teeth to remove the trapped food items. So if the food items won't be there, the bacteria will not act upon it and they will not cause any damage to your tooth. Then we have to rinse our mouth with water after every meal. We should not put any item without washing into our mouth. And the last but not least, we should not put dirty fingers in the mouth. This way we can take care of our teeth. Before we start today's topic, we will just recall whatever we have learned till now. We have learned that digestion starts in the mouth itself. When we put the food in mouth, it is broken down by the teeth present in the mouth and then it is acted upon by the salivary amylase, and this amylase breaks down the starch into simple sugar. Then through the food pipe or esophagus it reaches to the stomach, and in the stomach it is digested by these digestive juices secreted by the stomach walls. And these digestive juices contain enzyme pepsin which converts the proteins into simple amino acids. Now we will learn today what happens to food in the small intestine. As you know that the food which is processed in stomach is called as chyme. This chyme enters the small intestine. The small intestine is highly coiled and it is about 7.5 meters long. The small intestine receives secretions from liver and pancreas, and its wall also secretes some secretions. Now just see in the image where liver and pancreas located. Liver is situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. Just see in the image the reddish brown color gland is the liver. Pancreas is the large cream color gland and it is situated just below the stomach. Now we will study the role of liver and pancreas in digestion. As this liver is the largest gland of our body and it secretes the bile juice. This bile juice is stored in the sac-like structure called gallbladder. This bile juice is associated with the digestion of fats, but it is not chemically digesting the fats. It is not an enzyme. It just mixes with the fats present in the food and then it breaks these fats into the smaller droplets. Smaller droplets of fats are then further digested by the juices of pancreas. Pancreas is secreting the pancreatic juice which contains different types of enzymes like pancreatic amylase, lipase, trypsin. This pancreatic amylase breaks down the starch into simple sugars, and the lipase breaks down the fats into fatty acid and glycerol, and the trypsin breaks down the proteins into the simple amino acids. So here, whichever starch is not digested in the buccal cavity and whichever amount of protein is not digested in the stomach is further digested by the pancreatic juices. Then this partially digested food comes to the lower part of the small intestine, where the intestinal juices which are secreted from the wall of small intestine mixes with this food, and it further digests the other components. Means suppose if carbohydrates are still not digested, fats still not digested by the bile juice, and if the protein still not digested by the trypsin, that portion is now digested by the small intestine's juices. Here the intestinal juices are containing the enzymes like erepsin. This erepsin digests the proteins into the amino acids. Other enzymes are also there which digest the remaining amount of carbohydrate into simple sugars and the fats into the fatty acids and glycerol. This way the chemical digestion occurs in the small intestine. The mechanical digestion also takes place in the small intestine by the muscles of small intestine. The muscles of small intestine mixes the food with the different juices of liver, pancreas and the intestinal walls of the small intestine, and this way both the digestion occurs in the small intestine and the majority part of food, or you can say that digestion completes in the small intestine. So the complete digestion occurs in the small intestine. Then what happens to this digested food, that we will learn in the next class. Now we will recapitulate whatever we have learned today. Today we have learned the role of liver and pancreas in digestion. Liver is the largest gland of our body and it secretes the bile juice. This bile juice mixes with the fats and converts it into the small droplets of fats. Pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice which contains different enzymes. This pancreatic juice contains pancreatic amylase which is breaking down the carbohydrates into simple sugars. Lipase is the another enzyme which converts the fats into the fatty acids and glycerol. And the trypsin is the another enzyme which digests the proteins into the simple amino acids. Then this partially digested food, it is going towards the lower part of the small intestine, and there it is further digested by the intestinal juices. This intestinal juices contains the erepsin enzyme which digests the proteins which are not still digested, and then it divides these proteins into the simpler amino acids. And then the other enzymes present in the intestinal juices converts the carbohydrate and fats into their simpler forms. This way digestion completes in the small intestine. Now it's time for today's homework. Today's homework is refer extra marks F for today's topic, and the today's question is digestion of carbohydrates, fats, proteins completes in small intestine. What happens to vitamins and minerals present in food? I repeat the question. Digestion of carbohydrates, fats, proteins completes in small intestine. What happens to vitamins and minerals present in the food? Just find out the answer. Be ready with your answers. We will meet tomorrow once again with the same chapter. Till then, be at home, be safe and keep learning.